Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming online again to join us in our part 2 of yesterday's Path to Market webinar series. If you're joining us for the first time, I'm Glynis Miller and I head Pacific Trade Invest New Zealand here in Auckland. I will be your facilitator again today. Today we have a powerhouse of presenters, all leaders in their respective fields, who will speak to relevant topics throughout the day. In keeping with webinar protocols, comments and questions are welcome, so keep them coming in, please, and we will make all attempts to answer them throughout today and post-webinar. To begin, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce Raul Sarrot. Raul runs his own marketing business, Freshfish, a boutique studio. In line of his business, Raul helps businesses with their branding, brand strategy, communications design, and other tailored services to help SMEs reach their strategic goals. Raul is also a senior lecturer in a variety of design-related papers at AUT here in Auckland. His international experience has been forged over 30 years working alongside a wide range of commercial and not-for-profit enterprises in Asia Pacific, South America, and Europe. Welcome, Raul. The floor is yours, and you have 10 minutes to conclude your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Kia ora, good morning. Malolele, talofa, lava, kia orana. And I'm possibly missing a few, but good morning, everyone. And thank you, Glynis and PTI for inviting me yet again to be part of this briefing. I have a lot to say in a very short period of time, so I will try to be jumping on my presentation. So I will share now my screen. Let me share the screen. Can you see my full screen, or can you see two screens or one screen?
We can see two, Raul, so maybe just...
yeah, I will share that.
Just take it back to the one screen function. Yep, perfect. And...
why is it? What about if I do this?
And go to full? Nope.
You still see two screens. Oh, that's weird. Anyway, let's see if there's any other view. I can do this.
Yeah.
Will be just slide only. All right, that'll be.
Oh, great. Yep, all good.
So welcome everyone, and thank you. We are going to talk about fresh branding. Well, of course, on brand with our business, which is called Freshfish. But let me introduce, let's see how we can change slides, not being in presentation mode, which will be interesting. Okay, I might need to show this to be able. Well, anyway, hello, my name is Raul Sarrot, and as Glynis briefly introduced myself, I help companies succeed, so achieving what you guys are after, your dreams or expectations around your business, through a few things, and this is very important. First, understanding your value, then building your value, and then communicating your value through design. And so we will talk today quite a lot about value, but let me firstly explain what our business does. So we work in three basic components. One is strategy, which is around your vision, your purpose, helping you define your personality, how you're planning to create value, and that's again the word value, your brand story, understanding customers through research, and defining perhaps channel strategy. Design, that all needs to come visual at some stage, from the world of thoughts and concepts into the tactile world of visuals. So we work on brand identity and brand communications, of course, packaging being one of them, online presence like websites or social media and point of sale in any retail floor that you might choose. And communications could be a communication strategy, understand those channels, advertising, copywriting, etc., etc. So out of these key components of what we do, there's one particular one that is important, which is value. And not only the value from a money financial point of view of value, but the value that you are going to create in your ideal audiences. Say, if you're thinking of potentially expanding into the New Zealand market or other international markets, I understand you are already. why value matters, and that's the point of today, really, that I would like to make an emphasis. So a product is only successful if it adds values to someone's life. And I'm not saying it's going to be life-changing, but I'm saying you can provide a moment of pleasure, a day of pleasure, a week of delight, an instance of something. Being a product or a service doesn't matter, doesn't need to be food, can be wearables, can be services, technology, whatever. Are you going to add value to that person or to that group of persons in any moment of their life? And that's a shift in your mindset, in a way, understanding that it's not only about you and what you make, that possibly you're really good at it, and what you make it with, that possibly you're really good at it too, and where do you make it? That could be a huge story where you're coming from, right? Each one of the stories of your source, of your provenance, of your lands could be something that adds values, but you need to understand if that is meaningful for someone else. So value, if it sits in the middle, there's two things here. There's rational benefits and emotional benefits. So one is what people will think, and the other one what people will feel. And understanding that you need to shift and understand the other side of the equation, your buyer, your consumer, your user, is an important part. And that's part of what we work on with you, to understand that your brand is only going to be successful if it builds value to your customers, but also to your stakeholders. That could be you, your family, your funnel, or investors. So the value goes both ways. It's not only one way. And that's important. So how do you build value, and how do we build value together? So one thing that we say is the value is the magic moment in between you and them. So if you find that magic moment that is between your offer and their needs, then we're in a good place. This could be their needs or their wants, because it doesn't necessarily to be something they need, but something that actually they want. But it's important to understand that it's not about your offer, and it's not just about their needs. It's that magic moment in the middle. So, you know, it's around, do people want it? Is it desirable? Is it viable for you to produce, and feasible, right? From a financial point of view. So from a path to market point of view, it's important that from the strategy, so the conception to the design, to the shelf, to the consumer hands, there's a journey. And there's a journey that is not hard, that is hard and will take time to develop, and budget to develop. And that's also, we were just talking with Clenis just before, it's important to be realistic of what you can afford or where you're at now, and make a strategy that will give you steps to grow. So it's really important to have a reality check of where you're now. Are you underdeveloped in the brand world? Are you understanding what building value is? Are you developing that value, or are you mature? And of course, if we say that product is king, I saw that in my presentation was that I need to talk about the 4 Ps. So let's talk about the 4 Ps, because it is important, which is the traditional marketing model around 4 Ps: product, price, promotion, and placement. So of course, this is still super relevant, but this has been around for the last 50 years, really. So, you know, there's people that think, okay, this is fundamentally, this will create part of the difference, but also is around the 4 Cs. And the 4 Cs is understanding your customers, and the cost component, the communication, which is now called also community building, and the convenience for them. So this is saying that the 4 Ps of traditional market, which is understanding the basics of how you do business, it's also adding a customer point of view that will shape your business. So if value is king, good branding is the kingmaker. So the branding is the vessel of the communication between you and your customer. And so it's really important to pay attention to it and to embed it as part of your model. So when you conceptualize and start thinking around expanding and growing your markets locally or regionally, and expanding to new markets like New Zealand, brand is the opening key to that. So you need to really think about your customer. Mostly, if you're, this is a great little example here. On the bottom left, we have your current product in your current market. If you move horizontally on the bottom, you have your current product in the new market. Say if you're going to launch in New Zealand, but a new market means a new consumer. If you go up, you might go, oh, I might launch a new product in my current market. Or ideally, I would like it perhaps consider to have a new product in the new market because you understood that your product needs to perhaps change or be adapted to that market. So it's really, really important. And I would like to talk about, I know you all come from very, very different industries, very different backgrounds, different stage of maturity. But so I would like to talk about something before as a little quick case study. And it's really important that you understand that these days brands are digital as much as they're physical. So you might sell something like an egg, right? Which is the perfect example of packaging, how the beautiful example of how something could be packaged. But however, that egg will come packaged somehow. And there's a lot of storytelling happening in actual, excuse me, packaging, and people are trying to be really innovative around how to pack eggs, how technology and design can help make them not only safer or more durable, but more attractive. And there's a lot of how, okay, perhaps we can do multi-packs and be more consumer interesting, but there's something interesting. Consumers are asking for certain things. Trends in the industry are asking for, hey, we want to be more sustainable. We want to take care of the earth and be, for instance, organic. So that is shaping the industry. But it's not only you buying an egg, but you having this beautiful packaging, but it's also about the digital world. And when you get into traceability, for instance, and sustainability on the bottom right, you will see egg stamping. Okay, can I see where that eggs come from? So that's where the brand story is fundamental and something that you also have in mind, and we can help working with you on that aspect. So it's not just about the egg or how you're going to eat the egg in a beautiful setting in the morning, perhaps, but where is that egg coming from? Am I actually happy eating that egg that is coming from here? Not really. Oh, perhaps I'm happy as something a bit more sustainable, that I know they're pasture fed. Or is it the sole chicken in the middle? Oh, but I still see a barn on the bottom. Can I see perhaps little individual houses and I feel good about that this farmer is doing something for me? So some quick stories to share to wrap up in 2 minutes my presentation. I hope it's not so too convoluted, trying to say too many things in a short period of time, is that a few years ago, a few case studies, we worked with a company, a lady doing lemon juice up in Kerry in the North New Zealand. And she was doing really well selling locally. She saw an opportunity to perhaps sell in supermarkets. She started packing her lemon juice from her orchard, and then she decided that was going too well and she needed to outsource more lemon but still keep it natural. So we worked with her in the packaging, and that worked really well, but still we understood that people needed to understand the value of this little parcel of lemons, these little packets. So by actually bringing it to life through photography, through storytelling, it's really important. So this is part of the exercise we do, try to find value in what you do. In some other cases, is trying to understand how your portfolio, for instance, another brand that we work here, how your portfolio could work for New Zealand audiences. Not long ago, this was last 2 years ago, we went to Samoa and to help some companies try to, sorry if it's something shows on my screen, a little communication, to Samoa, to help Samoa Pure Water, a lovely family doing a lovely business. And they were ready to launch in New Zealand, but we identified that perhaps there are steps to grow into New Zealand that needed to be taken into consideration. And there were opportunities in the local market and regional market first. We are working with Rito Cook Islands, which are also growing and understanding the importance of branding, but also digital storytelling through making a website that brings your brand and your brand story to life in a beautiful way that is meaningful to the audience that you are talking about. And lastly, I would like to talk about a company that we are working on the Solomon Islands, which is called Soltuna, and we design a range specifically for New Zealand and Australia, taking the best of the existing ranges, but understanding their value in the market at the moment. And again, the idea of storytelling and the provenance of where you're coming from and how are you adding value. So just to make my presentation short, we are happy to help in different areas of your business. It's important that you embed in your strategy the idea of your brand story and where you come from, and the idea that you will create, you need to create value. And for that, it's important that you understand that consumers and users in different parts of the world and specific countries or in specific regions will have different perceptions of your brand. So tell your story, find your value, and understand your audience. So that's it for me. Happy to talk and expand, happy to answer some questions now if you have any. And thank you very much. Feel free to connect. There's my email and my phone there. And kia ora, and hope you have a beautiful day and a beautiful session. And thank you again, Glenis, for the invitation.
Oh, you're most welcome, Raul. I think the pleasure is ours, having you join us this morning. What a inspirational presentation. And I just loved the case studies and some of the examples of the work that you've done across the Pacific Island countries. I'm sure your message around good branding, being the kingmaker, I like that statement. And I think hopefully those online with us this morning will reach out to yourself through the contacts that we will, your contact we will share to pose their questions to you. And I'm sure, and hopefully that through this path to market, you will be able to connect with those who have signed on to this path to market. So Raul, if you do have time, we don't have any questions come up for you at the moment, but we may after the following session. So you're most welcome to stay online. And if you
minutes, and happy to answer questions while you present the next presenter for the next 5 or 10 minutes, and then I will leave you guys.
Thank you very, very much, Raul.